What's up everyone? Welcome to a video that I've been super excited to make since this unit came out. Today we're going to talk about the Nitehog USA Viper 35 TAC. So this is the second gen of this unit, and for those of you unfamiliar, this is a thermal clip-on that houses a 12 micron sensor with a 640 by 512 resolution. But before we dig super deep into the specs, I wanted to let you know that this is going to be a two-part series. So the first part, we're going to talk about specs, form factors, and upgrades from the Gen 1. And then the second video, we're going to talk a little bit more about, it'll be a little bit more review-ish. So we're going to talk about how to mount it, different ways I like to use it, and then my personal experience with using the unit. So before we do that, we're going to jump into this, and we're going to, I've got a scale, I've got a caliper, I've got a couple different mounts that are used for this unit, and we're going to take some measurements here live with you guys so you can check it out and kind of see the differences between the Gen 2 and the Gen 1, and then we can also talk a little bit deeper into those tech specs and kind of like the usability of this unit and applications that we want to put it into later on. Okay, so here is the Gen 2 Viper TAC, and we're going to set the scale here, set 0, and this thing is coming in at, I don't know if you can see that, it is 11.9 ounces. We're going to compare it to the Gen 1 at 10.9, so 1 ounce increase here. As far as size, we have, try to make sure I don't scratch the sensor there. Put that back on. Overall length at 5.47 inches. The Gen 1 is at 5.26, and kind of overall footprint of the body and width, we'll go back to the Gen 2. We're sitting at 2.6, a little over 2.61. The original Gen at 2.29, and then height sitting at 1.53, and Gen 1 looks like it might be a little bit bigger, 1.565. So overall, pretty comparable. 1 inch or 1 ounce heavier here in the new Gen. Slightly longer, slightly wider, about the same height. And then if you look here, we've got the different mounts that it comes with. So this is the original kind of flip to side mount. And this is the new one. New one's a little bit more robust. Oh, it's a little hard to do without a unit in it. There we go. But they lock open and lock closed. And then these units are also compatible with these like ring lock type mounts that go over the front end of your scope if you don't have anywhere to mount them, like on a pick rail. So that's actually super handy as well, and it's really useful in like bolt guns. We'll show these in the next video, like the application for use of these. And then so if we talk a little bit more, you know, we've talked a little bit about the physical dimensions here, but if we talk about like the tech features, the screen has a 1024 by 760 resolution. There is a 6-hour battery life, And then we've talked about like its variable means for mounting, which I think is super helpful. And some of the most impressive features for like capabilities for use are the 1300 meter detection range, the target lock and hot target track built into the software, so it will kind of track along with your target. And then it's got a built-in automatic bad pixel correction software. It's very similar to the Gen 1, and you can tell it kind of does that real-time updates and refreshes, and it updates those pixels to kind of get you a clearer picture just as it's refreshing in its normal refresh rate. So the major feature that I think sets the Viper, both the Gen 1 and Gen 2, apart from almost anyone in the market that I know of is that the Viper maintains the precision guarantee without the need for end user collimation. And what that really means in layman's terms is that if you have a red dot or a scope that is sighted in, your point of impact shift will be less than 3 centimeters at 100 meters. So just right out of the box. And from a physical size perspective, the Gen 1 and the Gen 2 are pretty close, you can see here. And the first upgrade that I think that when you're looking at the body of it that you can kind of see the difference of is the buttons here, right? So the button panel and the operation of the buttons are located at the top of the unit for both of them. They are significantly different between the Gen 2 and the Gen 1. And so the new button panel is a little more intuitive, and it has like a little more tactile presses of the button, giving you like a little bit more increased positive confirmation of presses when you can't see them right in the dark. And so I don't think that the button panels in the Gen 1 are not useful or good, but because they're all the same, I get a little lost at night. And these, these arrows and this different, shape and texture on this button here helps me discern the difference between the two at nighttime. And I think that that is a major upgrade. And then just the on and off here in a lever is also, in my mind, a major upgrade. However, I think that if you look at these from Gen 1 to Gen 2, most physical characteristics, and even with the buttons, they're pretty similar. I think that my only gripe with the Gen 1 was that it did not have onboard audio and video recording, and the Gen 2 does, right? So I think that that's something that everybody's really going to care about. The Gen 2 allows for 640 gigabytes of onboard storage for snapshots, videos, and audio, and it also allows for Wi-Fi streaming real-time on their night vision app. So that's NITE Vision, and that I think is a very large upgrade in like usability and just tech capability between the Gen 1 and the Gen 2. Both really great units, and I just think that Nitehog did a really good job of listening to user input on the Gen 1, which is a very capable unit and very cost effective, and they have really stepped it up and integrated those requested upgrades into the Gen 2. Okay, so we've gone over quite a bit in this video. We've gone through everything that I would want to know, looking at the box, what's the next step, right? You dig in deeper. These are all the things that I would want to know. But if there's something that I didn't cover or something that you want more information on, let me know in the comments. In the next couple weeks, I'll be, setting this thing up on a couple different weapon systems, getting some photos of it, getting some use out of it, and then we'll come back and then we'll talk a little bit more about those applications and the different ways that I like to use it, and my personal experience with it. So thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you in the next video. Again, let me know in the comments of anything else that you want me to cover in it or what you want me to cover in that next video. Thanks so much.